Water. When we think about water, I think of Hawaii. I think of swimming, and I think of positive stuff associated with water. My son loves water. A lot of people love water. But water is dangerous when you're uneducated about it, or when you're not using safety precautions, even in the ocean, even in a simple pool. Adults drowned and children drowned. So have you ever experienced a near drowning? I know I have. I think I was about 6 years old at a pool, and I had a towel wrapped around me, and I wanted to get a little floaty. And sure enough, I fell straight to the bottom, and thank goodness my dad was there to rescue me, because had it been not, I would have been a statistic. I can't even talk today. A statistic. There you go. There's things to make your pool safer. But what about children? The Center of Disease Control Unintentional Drowning Fact Sheet of 2011 says drowning is the second leading cause of children between 1 and 14 years of age. 1 in 5 fatal drowning victims are 14 years and younger. And matter of fact, 5 years of age and younger. We're talking about between the ages of 1 to 5, where children are really susceptible. Water's enticing. Water is cool on a summer day. I know specifically of an instance. I met a mama pregnant with her third baby. Lost her second baby at 18 months old. November 2nd of 2013, that child was at his grandmother's house. Grandma had a swimming pool. It had a fence, but it wasn't secure at the time. So they were making dinner, and baby was, the toddler was, within eyesight, getting distracted, the parents were. Next thing I know, 5 minutes had elapsed, and no one had seen the baby. They looked out in the pool. He was face down, dead. Less than 6 months ago, this child was living, and now he is a statistic of drowning. How can you prevent it? There are fences. There are different type of pool alarms. But what's the safest thing? What's so preventable? We can teach our children how to rescue themselves. Now, one of the most important things of prevention is adult supervision. Of course, you always need to supervise your child. But as this case happened, just a blink of an eye, and baby was already in the pool. 5 minutes elapsed, and that baby's dead. Now, Infant Swimming Resource is a company that I went through to teach my son water survival skills. I will teach him how to swim at some point in his life. I don't really care about swimming at this point in age. I want him to survive if he comes in contact with a bathtub, because that happens. A swimming pool, a lake, at a park pond, somewhere. What if he's at his daycare provider and they happen to go to a park and, whatever the case may be. I want my son to know what he needs to learn. If he hits the water, what is he going to do? Infant Swimming Resource teaches children 6 to 12 months old. You can start this as early as 6 months old, but 6 to 12 months old, they teach the child to do rolling and floating. Once a baby can roll over on its back, it can roll over in the water and breathe floating on its back. What does that do? That teaches the baby, if they crawl out into the water, first thing they're going to do is roll over and catch a breath. And what that does is and obviously they're going to cry because it's traumatic. This program teaches them to have a positive relationship with water. Water doesn't need to be scary, but it can be very scary to someone who is not educated and who is not secure in their water abilities. Even adults. There are adults, many adults that I know of personally, who don't know how to swim, and they're over 30 years old. What does that do for an adult? As an adult, how could you not swim? That sounds dumbfounded, but they weren't around water, or they weren't given the tools necessary to survive a water incident. Now, my son is 18 months old, and so what Declan is doing is he is going through the swim and roll, and then he's learning how to swim to the side. Now, this is very traumatic for a parent who is watching. I'm watching my son be put into a water situation and go underwater, and then now he's turning and floating and reaching to the side. It's amazing what these children are doing. Between the ages of 1 and 5 years old, their brains are like a sponge. Why not teach them survival skills right now? So that way it is preventable. So that way other mothers and fathers do not have to bury their child. Since 1969, Infant Swimming Resource has taught more than 260,000 children become aquatically skilled. What does that say? That says that they are teaching this specific program, and I'm sure there's other programs, are teaching children how to survive water instances. On ISR.com, infantswimmingresource.com, there's a testimonial. A mother who was at a park in Florida. Florida has canals and all sorts of ponds and what have you. So the mother was walking around the track, and her friend was over by a tree watching the children. The next thing she knows, the baby's gone. The child was 3 years old, and at 18 months he had received this swimming lesson. The baby had somehow, or took off towards the canal. And the next thing I know, baby was gone. They searched straight over to the waterway, and they found him floating in the middle of the waterway, face up, crying, waiting for someone to help him. So this is not just swimming lessons. This is water survival skills. And I urge moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, to teach their children survival skills. Not necessarily swimming lessons, because that will come. But to learn how to survive if they were come in contact with the water. I thank you for your time. Mahalo nui loa.